These rosemaries are doing great. I just took these out of the ground, guys, and they were not watered or anything during the wintertime. And it is springtime here in Albuquerque. And I figured, man, we should start talking about the 20 plus years that I lived here and everything that I've learned and pass it down to you guys, especially if you are thinking about moving down here. So hang tight, grab your pen and your pad, and let's get into today's video. Man, where do I even start with so much information to pass down to you guys? In this video, I'm not going to go over anything negative, just a couple things that you should probably be aware of and a couple of things that I think is valuable, especially if you're going to be new to the Albuquerque area, guys. And I got to thank you so much for stopping by the Living in Albuquerque channel. My name is Eli, and if this is your first time tuning in, do yourself a huge favor and hit that subscribe and notification bell down at the bottom. That way you guys are never missing out on any videos, because we are dropping videos every week talking about what this beautiful state of New Mexico and city of Albuquerque and surrounding cities have to offer, right? So much information to unpack here, guys. So hang tight. And if you are planning on moving down here within the next year or so, we mainly deal with helping people find that next home to purchase, but we do have some resources for you renters. So that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. If you are planning on moving down here, feel free to reach out, because we'd love to help you guys out. But let's head into this first topic, guys. Alrighty, guys, number one up in this list is going to be the vibe and the mindset that we have down here. Now, I've talked about it before, right? Our vibe and our mindset down here is going to be, you are going to be coming into a city, a metro area, but our vibe is super chill, and we have that small town mindset. We really believe that if it's not broken, we should not fix it. There's too many times that people have come in and tried to do these great big things, and they failed, to be honest with you, because it was just too complex. We didn't really vibe with it because it wasn't simple. We like simple down here. And I've learned that throughout the years, that less is more. And that's going to come down to the culture and the people, because you're going to have all these like high dollar, billionaires and millionaires just kind of running around through here, and you're not even going to notice, right? They can be potentially your neighbor in one of these suburbs that I live in, right? And it's funny to me that you couldn't even tell, right? Because some of these high dollar people aren't flashing it, and they aren't rolling around in these high status vehicles. They are rolling around in a Camry, a Corolla, a Toyota for the most part, right? Just because they understand the value of money, and they understand that it's not everything that meets to the eye. So again, with that whole chill vibe, that's going to add into it, because you're going to go to these restaurants or these events and really commingle with these people and not even notice that they're super wealthy, and you're not even going to be able to tell them from the average Joes like me. So it's super cool that any place that you go to here in Albuquerque, that's going to be the vibe. And the mindset is really so old school that we have restaurants that have been here locally for so long and haven't even changed. I mean, down to the way that they have their tables and their seatings. I'm sure it's still the original stuff, with the account of some things being repaired. But even at that, right, if something is broken, then we fix it. We try to make it a little bit better without taking away the essence, but really, just keeping it simple is going to be the vibe. All right, guys, now on that same subject of money and all that stuff, Albuquerque versus other cities is still super affordable, and New Mexico in general, right? When we are comparing some of these other cities to what we have to offer, as far as like a regular residential house, cookie cutter style home, what we pay here for that is going to be around $350,000, sometimes even $360,000. It's kind of lingering around that right now in this market. It's pretty weird. So if you are planning on moving down here and you want to talk house, that number popping up on the screen is my direct line, and I'd love to help you out to clear the waters on that. But really, guys, when we're comparing to like Phoenix, where you're paying $450,000, or California, like Los Angeles, you're going to be paying $900,000. It's a fraction of the price, and you are going to be saving a ton of money, right? Because New Mexico altogether as a whole is really pushing forward on this whole green thing, especially since we have 300 plus days of sun. The solar panel boom is super big down here. You get it all the time. These people coming and soliciting to you about solar panels, and I'm sure that they do that wherever you're at, but here it's really a thing, because man, with the abundance of sun that we get here, it's a thing that's going to save a ton of people a ton of money, right? I was just at a listing appointment with a client that we're trying to figure out how we can help to sell his house, because he has paid off solar. He was showing me his bill, and he's actually getting paid back some money from the energy companies to have those solar panels on his roof, which is crazy. And he says, I run my business through here, right? And it's crazy, again, talking about that vibe and that mindset. This gentleman here is a multi-millionaire, and he lives just in a regular house, and he, was in sweats and a t-shirt when I was talking to him. It's crazy how chill he was, and he really liked our vibe because we were, doing this whole thing, doing the videos and on Instagram. And he said, man, it looks like you got it down and you know exactly who I need to reach. Can you help me sell this house? So again, if you are planning on moving down here, we're going to be listing a house in the mid 400s to 500s. I'm not too sure exactly what we're going to be looking at, but it's going to have paid off solar, brand new tankless water heater. I mean, this house is a greenhouse as far as efficiency goes, right? They're not growing plants and stuff inside of the house. When we talk about greenhouse, we are talking about the energy efficiency of saving some money every month and yearly. So alongside of the affordability sense, bills are getting way more affordable versus all these other cities. And then there's a lot of houses out here that have wells, which is also going to save you a ton of money on your water bill. So we can have this discussion when we get on this call, guys, and we can also talk about this house that we're posting here in a few weeks. And we love to make sure that you can find that house that saves you either some money or just makes the right fit as far as affordability goes in that aspect. Now, the next big topic that I really have a conversation on is going to be the outside and all the mysteries that the outdoors has to offer down here. And I actually got commented on this cherry tree because honestly, I love this tree, and it changes from pink to white to, I guess, kind of like this brown reddish color during the spring and the fall time, and it's super cool, right? And I get trees like this from my neighbor. You're going to see this everywhere that you go. And I mean, the beauty that we have outdoors is just so diverse, guys, that you're going to have, botanical gardens, the Rio Grande, the Bosque, the mountainsides, the desert. Take your pick. There's so much out here for you guys to do that even if you think you know a trail, there's going to be another trail, that you have never seen, because now you got a whole different perspective. We do it all the time when we take the kids out to Placitas to go out there and off-road. They got a trail that is about a 2-mile trail. It's super fun. And every time we go, it's like we see something new. We have our spots that we kind of pinpoint that we kind of know where we're at now. But even when we took them to the backside of the mountain through Placitas to Cedar Crest, it was just like a whole new world. You felt like you weren't even in New Mexico anymore. You seen pine trees. There was still snow up there back when we were up there in November and September and all that stuff. So it was pretty cool to see the difference in the layouts of our geographical landscape here. So even then when we go down to the Bosque and the Rio Grande, next to my mother-in-law's house at the open space, there's so much abundance there that, man, you can't see it all in one day. So really every weekend you're going to be out and about. And if you go up to northern New Mexico, where it's a little bit more mountainous, you got the little mountain towns like Red River, Taos, and up close to southern Colorado, you are going to have all those bordering towns. And if you like fishing and you enjoy fishing, you're a big fly fisherman, San Juan River, which is a blue ribbon water, is going to be right down the street from there. So much to unpack in so little time that, man, this whole state, as big as it is, you're going to feel like there's always a new adventure. So I never really noticed this when I was younger, but New Mexico is super family oriented. Even the events that we have here in Albuquerque, you're not going to find a whole lot of 20 plus events or 21 plus events where there's going to be a whole lot of things that kiddos can't go to, because they understand that the dynamic and the value of family is deeply rooted here. You can run into a bunch of people that are going to have cousins and uncles that are not blood related, but somehow they've been in the family for so long that they just become an uncle and a cousin or an auntie or whatever the case is. Growing up, we used to call, our best friends moms and dads, mom and pops, because it was just easier and it felt like we had a second set of parents at times, right? And maybe that was just me kind of growing up and having so much different friends that their parents really took care of us, because we were outside skateboarding and we were just kind of like this pack of kiddos that they felt like they, weren't, responsible for us. And maybe that's where it comes from, but I don't know. But when it comes down to living in Albuquerque, guys, you are going to have so much family stuff to do. I mean, the parks are going to have events from time to time. I know North Domingo Baca is going to be a park where there's a ton of family stuff going on there because they got the skate park, they got the big open space, the walking trails, and they're building a brand new pool up there. So here in the summertime, I mean, I can just imagine how busy it's going to get, but they also have food vendors there that post up every weekend, making it a super enjoyable and fun time for you guys. And personally, guys, it's not just going to be just all this family fun that you're going to be experiencing here, because if you don't got a family and you're just like, man, I'm just rolling solo cholo and I want to go out there and experience things, I mean, as an adult, we're still going to have things here for you. And our nightlife, I'm just going to be honest with you guys, it's not like a Chicago or a San Diego or some of these other places that I've experienced, but it's still there, right? And it's kind of spread out, and the majority of the time it's probably going to be at a brewery that you're going to find yourself at, because again, that chill vibe is super integrated in our community, that these breweries are going to have like local bands playing with the dance floor. You're going to see, you know, local artists going down there and just kind of doing their thing. They're going to have events where you can go and do like a paint night, all these cool stuff that you can go, even invite some friends with you to go and enjoy. Or if you just want to go by yourself, it's always super fun to go and do, right? There's that word super. And I'm being serious, guys, because there's always something going on at these places. I mean, from pop-up events to just taking your family down and enjoying a bite to eat, and you just want to have yourself a good beer. Personally, I don't drink any beer anymore ever since I started dealing with these gluten things. But when I did drink beer, we used to take our daughter right along with us, and we'd go have a beer and a good burger, and she would have her chicken tenders and fries. So a lot of stuff to do down here, guys, and that's a big misconception that I run into as well, that there's nothing to do down here, and I'm here to settle the score straight. All right, I love talking about this one here because our community is super supportive, and a lot of people think that it's not. And to be honest with you guys, as a first generation Mexican American, I didn't have a whole lot of family here growing up. A lot of our family was kind of spread out, and I had to basically create my own from the friends that I was having, from, you know, the different peers at my school. We really created a group around us that, I mean, it felt like family. Blood couldn't make us any much closer. And it's still like that as an adult, to be honest with you guys. And that's where that whole aspect of having a cousin and an uncle, like some of my friends call me uncle and I call some of my friends uncle for my kids. And it's pretty cool how that dynamic works. And even when it comes down from an outsider moving in, yeah, we can tell you're not from here, but honestly, we don't care. We actually love that you're going to be able to bring something different to the table and make our experience that much more fun, because we're interested in you, your lifestyle, and how can maybe we could adopt some of your ways, because hey, we understand that we're not perfect and we want to continue to improve ourselves, and we love learning through people, right? Through experience. That's the New Mexican way. We learn through experience, and it's very diverse in the type of people that you'll come across when you create these groups, right? Because growing up and even up until now, my friends have been through all different walks of life. I mean, strict kids to super highly educated kids to like doctors and, I mean, entrepreneurs. This big melting pot is just even in my little circle, and that's what Albuquerque is at scale, to be honest with you guys, and New Mexico as a whole, right? Because especially nowadays that we're getting this influx of a bunch of people coming from the East Coast and the West Coast and even the Northern United States, all this culture that we're getting that's bringing kind of like a fresh vibe to us feels good. It does, after, 20 plus years of living here and just kind of seeing the same things all the time. To be able to see some of these older buildings get a revitalization, call it gentrification and all this stuff, but sometimes I think that the neighborhoods need it. Because, man, how good does it feel to see an old rundown hotel that was just in shambles get a little bit of love and now become an attraction that people can go enjoy, from, you know, outsiders visiting to the locals. It's been so much fun to see places like El Waldo, the Sawmill, the you know, different food halls just get a facelift and get a fresh new sense and a fresh new vibe come through there. And it's really coming from all these different people that are coming out of state just like you. So thank you if you are planning on moving down here, and all of this stuff just makes sense to you, right? And if it's something that you're like, man, yeah, I can picture myself living there. I feel the vibe. I like how affordable it is. I like the green. I like the diverse and the outdoors. That number popping up on the screen, guys, is my direct line. And again, as much as I love doing these videos, I would love to help you out with your real estate needs. So feel free to reach out. Let's hop on a quick Zoom call to discuss all of this. And I also want to make sure that I'm able to answer any questions that you may have when it comes down to living down here in the Southwest. So other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you have a great week. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.